How does India make the mission evacuation look so easy every single time? It's a war-torn region. Missiles are being fired in the airspace, bombs are exploding on the ground, and yet we find our people safely back home, smiling. For years and decades, these visuals have shown that whether it's ideological differences, political differences, religious differences, all of them get a seat on the Indian Air Force C-17 Globemaster or an Air India aircraft, and that they are safely back, united with their families. India safeguards its people every time, even in the worst of times.
बहुत सुकून है, बहुत चैन है, अपने वतन में आने की खुशी अलग होती है।
सुकून, बहुत सुकून है। हमारी इंडिया की बात है, अलग है।
इतनी क्रिटिकल सिचुएशन में भी हम लोग बहुत अच्छे से रहे और बहुत अच्छे से थैंक यू।
Over 3,000 Indian nationals have so far been evacuated from Iran and Israel. Multiple batches of flights have taken off and landed during these 12 days when the war was fully on. Specially rescued were the students from Jammu Kashmir, primarily in the medical colleges in Iran. Amid all of this, so how does India pull this off every single time? The word is coordination. Those willing to be evacuated approach the embassy. Helplines are shared online through the network on the ground as well in that respective country. Then usually, I'm told, there is a form. Those who express the willingness fill the form, they will be evacuated, and the form is then submitted. Meanwhile, the embassy designates personnel on the ground to coordinate, arrange logistics. Identities are confirmed of the evacuees, the number of the contingent in total for the logistics. Then the process begins. Convoy of buses are sent to a meeting point. I'm also informed that there are sometimes a local community leader, a contact person, basically a representative for the evacuees, between the evacuees and the ministry officials to coordinate. The External Affairs Ministry sometimes even sends a special team of officers to the conflict zone directly, and that is to coordinate with the military forces, local authorities of that nation, and to arrange logistics. This was done in the case of Sumy evacuation of students in Ukraine. Now comes the difficult part. How do you get them out of that conflict zone? During this evacuation, Indian Embassy, basically the Ministry of External Affairs, coordinates also with officials from the warring factions, which are basically nations at war. India then reaches a certain time margin, where most likely no missiles will be fired. Indian nationals can be safely evacuated from that zone. This is where India's goodwill, trust built over decades, and the real diplomacy turns into fruition. Remember this incident in Ukraine? A humanitarian corridor was created for the civilians to leave the cities of Mariupol and Volnovakha. In one case, Prime Minister Modi had even spoken to Russian President Putin and Ukrainian President Zelensky. This was confirmed by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. This was to be able to sure shot have a brief ceasefire so our people can be evacuated. Eventually, 15,000 people were evacuated in the thick of war, back-to-back flights during the Russia-Ukraine war. Similarly, Iranian and Israeli officials are taken into confidence. Sometimes, even top ministers, for example, can be coordinating for this. Not just that. The Indian government and our missions abroad have to also coordinate across the border beyond the conflict zone. For example, Armenia, that borders Iran, as only the land border initially was opened. The first batch of Indians who had to be evacuated, sure, from land route are taken from the road from Iran into Armenia's capital city, Yerevan. Now, this is under the supervision of India's embassies in Iran and in Armenia. From there, then the flights take off and land in New Delhi. This happened on the 19th of June 2025. When Iran was kind enough to open the airspace for Indian evacuations, that's another level of phone calls and coordination. This is to ensure the airspace is clear and safe. Sometimes it's an Air India aircraft, sometimes it's the C-17 Globemaster of the Indian Air Force. That is when the number is much higher of the evacuees. But to ensure that our aircrafts land and take off in clear airspace means multiple level of phone calls and coordination. Official channels are then brought in. Because remember, even if one missile hits, even if accidentally, that can prove to be a disaster. And I'm talking about at least 500 people, one batch at a time. There are control rooms that are set up throughout. That is to monitor as well every step of the way. Families are back home, waiting with a bated breath. And then the flight lands. There is relief, breathing, and smiles. So as I sign off, let's take a look at some of the prestigious popular missions of evacuation done by India. Operation Sukoon. Lebanon was in the thick of civil war, bombings happening. This included one of the first times that India used naval assets for rescue of its civilians. Iran-Iraq war, mid-1980s, Saddam Hussein regime war broke out. Thousands of Indians were saved, and how? It was a brilliant evacuation mission. The most prominent has been 1990-1991, the Kuwait airlift. Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. Over 1.5 lakh Indians were trapped. Commercial airlines had stopped flying. That is when India had to ensure and negotiate a safe corridor through Amman and Jordan. And then what started was the largest civilian airlift in history. 488 Air India flights and beyond that brought Indians back home. Even the Guinness Book of World Records still remembers this incident. How did we pull it off? Then External Affairs Minister I.K. Gujral personally met Saddam Hussein in Baghdad. It was a huge diplomacy gamble, but it worked. The Iraqi leader did give an approval for Indians to be able to safely be evacuated. Operation Safe Homecoming, Libya 2011. Operation Rahat in Yemen civil war, April 2015. Operation Devi Shakti, Afghanistan, remember August 2021 when Taliban takeover happened. Operation Ganga, Russia-Ukraine war in February to April 2022. So when you see such visuals of smiles and people returning home, think also of the work done by the Ministry of External Affairs officials, diplomats, teams on the ground who are usually young representatives taking a huge risk. Multiple phone calls to even warring factions sometimes. There's a lot of permutations and combinations, and I'm sure there's a lot of prayers too involved. All of this to ensure all Indians are safe and back home. Jai Hind.